こんにちは、平野敦カールです。
Hi, welcome to JM Channel. My name is Carl Isushi Hirano, the Japanese author with more than 30 books. In this video channel, I would like to introduce Japanese masterpieces. So please register to my channel JM, so that you can be noticed when new video comes up. In this video, I would like to introduce the book title, I Am a Cat, written by Natsume Soseki, who is one of the most famous and legendary Japanese novelists. This original Japanese book's copyright has been expired, but this translation made by me using AI technology has copyright. If you want to listen further story, please press good bottom, which will motivate me to make next video. Also please register to my channel, Japanese Masterpieces. So let's start. I hope you may enjoy it. I am a cat. Natsume Soseki. I am a cat. There is no name yet. I have no idea where I was born. I remember only crying meow in a dim and damp place. I saw humans here for the first time. Moreover, later on, it was said that it was the most difficult race among all human beings. A student. There is a story that sometimes student grabs cat and cooks it. But at that time I didn't have any thoughts, so I didn't think it was even more scary. However, when I was lifted on the palm of his palm and lifted, I just felt something fluffy. It is probably the beginning of seeing a so-called human being. I was settled down a little on his palm and saw the student's face. At this time what I thought was strange still remains. First, the face, which should be decorated with hair, was smooth. There were a lot of cats, but I never met such animal. In addition, the middle of the face is too prominent. Then sometimes smoke was blown out of the whole face. I was really weak. Finally, I knew that this is what humans smoke tobacco. I sat in the back of the student's palm for a while, but after a while he started driving very fast. I do not know if the student is moving or myself, but my eyes turn around indiscriminately. I felt sick. I thought I couldn't help it at all, and I heard a burst of noise and fire from my eyes. I remember it until then, but I don't know what I'm trying to figure out. I noticed that there were no students. I can't see a lot of brothers. Even mother hid herself. Besides, it is indiscriminately bright unlike before. I can't keep my eyes on. Something is wrong. It's very painful when I was crawling out. I was suddenly dropped from the straw into the bamboo grass field. When I finally crawl out of the bamboo fields, there is a large pond. I sat down in front of the pond and wondered what to do. There is no such distinction. After crying for a while, I came up with the idea that the student would come again. Meow, meow, I tried, but nobody came. Eventually, the wind gently flows over the pond, and the sun falls. I was so hungry, I can't speak even if I want to cry. I couldn't help anything, so I decided to go to the place where there was food and started to turn left over the pond. It was very painful. When I put up with it and forcibly pulled it out, I finally came to a place with a human smell. When I got here, I thought it was going to work out and went through a broken hole in the bamboo fence and into a certain house. The edge is strange, and if this bamboo fence had not been torn, I might have starved to the roadside at last. Wooden shade and the flow of a river, also karma from a previous existence. This hedge hole has been a passageway for me to visit my neighbor cat Miki, 3 colors cat, this day. Well, I sneaked into house, but I do not know what to do in the future. Soon it will be dark, hungry, cold, and rainy. I couldn't make a momentary delay. I can't help but go to the brighter and warmer. From now on, it had already crawled into the house at that time. Here, I had a chance to see the humans other than the student again. The first person I met was Osan. As soon as he saw me as a more violent person than the previous student, he suddenly grabbed my yoke and jumped out. No, I thought this was useless. So I closed my eyes and left luck to heaven. However, I can't resist being cold. I crawled up to the kitchen, seeing plow again. Soon I was thrown out again. I remember being thrown up and crawling up and throwing out and repeating the same thing 4 or 5 times. At that time, Hosan was terrible. After my revenge Hosan by stealing his fish, I felt comfortable. The last time I was about to be picked out, the master of the house came out saying what was noisy. The maid woman hangs me and says that this cat is troublesome. The master twisted the black hair beneath his nose and stared at my face for a while, but eventually crawled deeper into the room, leaving her to let me free. The master seemed to hear little. The maid women reluctantly dumped me into the kitchen. Thus, I finally decided to relocate my home to this house. My master rarely meet me. His occupation is a teacher. When he returned from school, he almost never come out as long as he crawl in his study room all day. People in this house deem him as a very diligent and studying man. He himself is showing as if he was studying hard. But it's not. I sometimes look into his study room with a sneaking foot, but he often takes a nap. He is drooling over books from time to time. He has weak stomach, pale yellow skin and inelastic signs of inactivity. But eat a big meat. After eating boiled rice, he take medicine called takajisatase. After drinking medicine, he opened the book. Then he gets sleepy after reading a few pages. Drop the saliva on the book. This is his daily routine. I sometimes think about cats. Teachers a really easy job. If you are born into a human, you must be a teacher. There's nothing that a cat can't do if he sleeps and works like this. There is nothing more difficult than the teacher, but he complains about job every time his friend comes. At the time I lived in this house, I was very devastated to anyone but my master. No matter where I went, I was rejected and had no way to help me. You can see how unprincipled it is even today, not even giving a name. I had no choice but to stay as close to my master as possible. Whenever the morning master reads the newspaper, I rides on his knees. Whenever he takes a nap, I rides on his back. This does not mean I like the master, but I had no choice but to do so. After a lot of experience, I decided to sleep on a rice case in the morning, on a kotatsu at night, and on a sunny day in Ingawa. But the best thing to do is go in at night and get into the children's bed. The children are 5 and 3, and at night the two go to the floor and sleep on their own. I always find room to be in the middle of them and somehow break in, but unfortunately one of the smaller children awakens, but this is the last thing that gets tough. A small child, especially the smaller one, has worse quality, can cry out loud at night, whatever the cat came. Then, the master of the nervous stomach weakness always wakes up and jumps out of the next room. In fact, I was struck with a ruler in the aspita. The more I lived with humans and observed them, the more I had to assert that they were selfish. In particular, a small child. They turn cat upside down, put a bag on your head, hang out, or push them into a tight spot when I brush my nails with a little tatami mat. Master's wife became very upset, and since then I was not be able to enter the room easily. Even if others are trembling between the kitchen boards, they are all fine. Every time I meet my neighbor food white cat called Haku-kun who respects me, says that there is nothing more miserable than humans. The other day, Haku-kun's 4 kittens were born. Kittens looked like bulls. However, on the 3rd day, a student from the school brought them to the back pond and abandoned them. Haku-kun sheds her tears and talks about the whole story, and in order for our cats to absolutely love the parents and children and live a beautiful family life, we must fight against humans. I think this is the best discussion. The neighbors such as Miki, 3-color cat, are very resentful that humans do not understand that ownership is the property right. Originally among our cat families, the cat who found the target has the right to eat it. If your opponent doesn't follow these rules, it's enough to appeal to your strength. However, human seems to have no idea of this, and the treats we find will always be for them. They rely on their power to justify what they can eat. Shiro is in a military man's house and Miki has an alternate master. I live in the teacher's house and I am more optimistic than both of them in this matter. I just need to stay calm every day. No matter how much human beings, they cannot flourish forever. It's good to wait for the cat's time for a long time. This is end of this video. If you would like to listen further story, please press good button. Also please register to my channel, Japanese Masterpieces. Thank you for watching.